Greetings, beloveds. This is Amy Caryn Johnson, the Earth Channel, with another message from Gaia. Today I'd like to talk to you about the spleen, or Splenic Center as it's sometimes called in human design. And according to my interpretation, it is the third of one of three centers in human design that is associated with the solar plexus chakra. 2 weeks ago, I spoke to you about the will center, sometimes also called the ego center, that represents the power of the solar plexus, in my view. The center we will talk about next week is the one that human design calls the solar plexus center, sometimes also the emotional center, obviously dealing with the emotions. But the spleen or splenic center deals with what I would sum up in one word as safety. It can also be very much associated with intuition. It's the masculine side, as opposed to the emotions are more the feminine side. It's associated with the right side of the body. It is not a motor center, so it does not necessarily produce energy, even if you do have it defined. If you'd like to run your chart, you can always go to any search for a free human design chart creator. The one I often recommend is humandesignamerica.com/chart, and you can enter your birth information there. Use noon if you're not sure. I am not affiliated with that site or any others where you can create your chart. If the splenic center is defined, it will be brown, and you will see it on the left side of the chart, even though that represents the right side of the body. If it is not defined or open, it will be white. So before I get further into the splenic center, I have a short poem to share with you that was inspired by Gaia. Safe in the arms of Mother Earth, the parent who will never leave me, nourished by her water and dirt, with her support, I am free. So that sort of helps sum up the theme of the spleen. And like I said, I associate it with safety. How do we feel safe? The spleen, if it's defined, gives us a really quick pulse. Like I said, it's not a lot of energy produced there, but a pulse in the moment of clarity as to whether something is good for us or not, whether we should proceed or not. And if it is open, if that center is open for you, white in your chart, you will have less consistent access to that type of intuition. You will have more of an intuition in the form of, for example, you will feel other people's health status or issues. You will be empathic when it comes to health types of things. I know of a massage therapist, for example, who had an open splenic center and still does, and she would very much pick up on and amplify anyone's health issues, including mine, when I was seeing her. And just keep in mind that it will amplify it. You will have less consistent access to the timing as well. So, it will help you identify issues by amplifying them, health issues in particular, but you could also tend to sometimes hold on to things that are not necessarily good for you when you have that open splenic center. Sometimes even when it's defined, you can hold on to things that aren't good for you, just because we get attached to things. And sometimes it just feels better to hold on to something rather than nothing. So Gaia has a meditation, again, to guide us through for letting go of some of those attachments. And even though that can feel really scary, that is the best way for us to get to a place of feeling more consistently safe, is by letting go of things that we really don't need and identifying the things that we really do need, because once we identify those, we can be grateful for them, and we can realize that we really do have enough when we do have enough. And when we don't, it helps guide us toward those things with more clarity. So I'll invite you to take a few deep breaths. And just tune into your solar plexus chakra and the spleen or splenic expression of that chakra. I often, with all meditations, encourage you to feel energy come down through your crown from the sun, if you'd like to visualize it coming from there, from higher realms if you prefer, down through your body and grounding as if you are a tree, sending your roots down through your root chakra, through your feet, into Mother Earth. And then feel her nourishment come back up through those roots. And pause at that solar plexus. And tune into that masculine expression of intuition that comes from there. And Gaia really wanted me to emphasize the grounding, because as expressed in the poem from earlier, your true safety really does come from Mother Earth. And we lose touch with that so often in these modern times. Most of us don't know how to live off the land to be self-sufficient. And we even lose sight of the fact that our food comes from the earth, usually. I mean, originally it certainly did. Plants grew with their roots in the earth, dropped their seeds and grew new plants there, were nourished there, gained water from their roots in the earth. And so just take a moment to give thanks to Mother Earth for always nourishing us, however that nourishment comes. And this is one of the best ways to return to a feeling of safety. Just feel yourself held by Mother Earth. Recognize her support. Feel where your body touches the ground, whatever that horizontal plane is that you're sitting on or standing on. Recognize where that gravity comes from, and recognize the other forces associated with Mother Earth. Her electromagnetic energy, and how it nourishes our electromagnetic energy. And So now take a moment, as we have with previous meditations, and recognize where we might have these tendrils sort of hanging out in space, holding on to attachments to things that we actually don't need. Let's pull back the energy from there, back into that solar plexus chakra. Those fragments. Take a breath and just allow that energy to be purified there. Take another breath. And as you exhale, begin to feel a glow there. A warm yellow glow. And this is a form of love. This feeling of safety. Send that feeling out to others in your sphere. Others in your home, others in your neighborhood. And if you can, all others on earth. Recognizing that when we send that love out unconditionally, without expectations, it is always instantaneously replenished. And as we expand that chakra, or any of our chakras, it connects us to the whole earth, to those resources that we may need, helps us to identify them, and for resources that others may need. And gives us the clarity of that timing that we seek. Knowing that sometimes the difference between accessing that which we need and not accessing it is just a matter of being a little bit patient, waiting a moment. Maybe a few moments, maybe a day. But by connecting to the energy of Mother Earth, we can find the nourishment that is available now, in this now. Another deep breath. Let us give thanks to Mother Earth. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste, beloveds. If you liked this message, hit like. You can also subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when the new weekly message comes out. You can also find me at Facebook at Earth Tree Sun page and group, or you can sign up for free emails to be sent to you weekly with these messages at amycarynjohnson.com. Thanks.